Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start. We have I think 10 people in here right now, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start. So, welcome to GBM 2. This is our resume review. If you haven't already, you can use the QR code right here and sign in. Otherwise, at the end, if there are people that have shown up and haven't signed in, I will resend the link in chat, or someone else can do that as people join in. But we can get started. Um, I don't think there's anyone new here, but if you are new, you can join our GroupMe or our Facebook page if you need to. This is just another reminder that a week from today is going to be our scroll case. So that's essentially why we're having this resume review to begin with, is just to get you guys prepared for scroll case and getting your resumes ready for uh, the recruiters that are going to be there. So once when you feel like your resume is in a good place, please remember to go to our website scrogator.com and please RSVP, because that is the way that our recruiters are going to be accessing your resumes. So please be sure to do that once when you are happy with the state that your resume is in. Then we have an announcement. We have our new committee chairs. So for our media chair, we have Jose Rodriguez. Education chairs, we have Kevin Matthew and Kandarp Desai. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your names. Um, uh, social chairs, Andrew Cannon, and outreach chairs, Carter Bulkey. So thank you for applying, for everyone who applied, and congratulations to our new chairs for this year.
Congratulations, everyone.
So now we are going to move on to the main topic of this presentation, which is resumes. So at the top of your resume, you always want to have your name and contact info, whether that be a link to your LinkedIn, your email, phone number, just any way that a recruiter could possibly get in contact with you. Um, then you always want to have things like education, GPA, expected graduation date. You can also include your relevant coursework. I would only recommend putting relevant coursework if you feel like let's say you're applying to internships, as probably most of you are. I would say instead of if you've never had an internship, put relevant coursework. Otherwise, I would say that your projects and your previous internships would sufficiently replace your relevant coursework, which moves on to work experience or projects, leadership or involvement, honors, awards, skills. I highly suggest always having a technical skills portion at the bottom, just so that they don't have to go digging through your experiences to figure out what you're good at. Um, it's not always about what's on the paper, it's how you present yourself. So obviously this doesn't apply as much this year as it has in previous years, but you want to be able to go up confidently, give your elevator pitch, be able to answer any question about anything that is on your resume. And we also highly suggest warming up with other companies. Like, let's say there's a company there that you aren't necessarily interested in talking to, but you're still possibly interested in getting a position there. Go up to them and do your elevator pitch and have your first interactions with them rather than your first choice, because it gives you an opportunity to warm up your speaking skills and get into the flow again of giving your elevator pitch and presenting your resume. Um, think about how you can set yourself apart. That could be any leadership roles. That could be any lab or internship experience. The Scro Summer Lab is a great example. Every interview that I have had, they've asked a lot of questions about the Summer Lab and my experience in it. You can also include school or personal projects, especially any, like if you experiment with Arduino or things like that. Those are always good projects to bring up, because Arduino, despite not necessarily maybe um, connecting to the position you're applying to, they a lot of companies usually like to see that you have some experience with something like Arduino or some sort of coding. more specifically, you want to make sure that you have good wording. So you usually want to have strong verbs, keep it clear, um, talk about what you did, not a group. You usually, even if you were working in a group, you want to make it sound like it was just you. And then if a interviewer asks for clarification, you can explain that was done in a group. It's not necessary to mention that you were working in a group itself. Um, so as you can see in this one, you usually want to start a bullet point underneath like one of your experiences. You usually want to start with a strong verb. You don't really want to use subjects like I or we or anything like that. You like for the first one, you just have conducted daily analysis reports. You don't have did daily analysis reports. You want to have those strong verbs that really get to the point really quickly of what you did and make it sound as important as possible. So you have these strong words like conducted, ensured, debugged, led. Worked probably could have been a little bit stronger, and led probably could have not been not been doubled up back to back. Um, and also a big thing is white space on your page. If you think that your resume looks too crowded, it most likely is. You want to be specific and be concise. You want to have a good balance of being detailed enough to where it piques your interviewer's interest, or it just piques recruiter's interest, but um, it doesn't just bore them. Like you don't want to have a literal paragraph underneath a bullet point of what you did. You want to just have short little points that get to the purpose of what you're trying to talk about. You definitely want to include technical words. Um, all of these at the bottom are great. Just even if you just need to Google buzzwords that can relate to what you're doing, like obviously failure analysis, characterization, debug, um, uh, like there's some good technical ones from the summer lab, like metal deposition, photolithography, anything like that. Um, is going to draw in a recruiter's attention, and they're going to want to ask about it. Um, oh, this is a big one for organizations, especially with things like Scro. You usually want to have semiconductor career readiness organization written out. On my resume, I usually have the format as my role and then my role and then the organization after that, and then if it can be abbreviated, I put that in parentheses after the full organization name. So for like the device processing lab, I think I have device processing lab member, semiconductor career readiness organization, and then in parentheses SCRO. And then if you ever have SCRO later on in the list, you can just put SCRO since you've already established what SCRO is. So need a position slash activity description and a date. So like over here, obviously this person should have written out semiconductor career readiness organization, but they have the date over here and the duration as to how long it lasted. Mention the tools, processes that you use, and things you have to account for in, in order to fabricate correctly. So you a good thing to do is mention specific tools you worked on, like especially brands. Like for our teaching lab, we have a specifically a headway spinner is the name of our spinner that we use to deposit photoresist. We use nloft 2035 as our photoresist, which is negative photoresist. You can include the name of the tool for exposure. I can't remember what the exact brand name was, but we do have that written down somewhere. You can talk about troubleshooting, or how about you refined a step, or you can talk specifically about how you helped to develop a process flow. Talk about team experiences if you've had to work with others to achieve the same goal. Recruiters are really going to want to know how well you can work in a team and are going to ask about experiences where you've probably had difficulties working with the team. Um, and then you want to show the importance of what you did and show why it matters. So you want to have a good, sort of cause and effect between what you did and what the outcome was, and you want to show something quantifiable, adding numbers, percent yield, for example, or I had a project that was making a heat sink, so I included the ratio of surface area to volume of a material to basically show that kept we maximize surface area while minimizing volume of material needed. But you don't want to go overboard with numbers and inundate your resume with just statistics that don't necessarily mean anything in context. So that's really it for this portion of the presentation. Are there any questions that anyone has about anything that I went over? Because after this, we will be moving on to, I'll just be breaking people up into breakout rooms, and then we can do a little bit of critique on each other's resumes. Anyone?
I think we're good.
Okay. So I will stop sharing this then. And then let me see.